exciting video of DC Universe Online. I am Water Tips, and welcome to an exciting video. Basically, the last video we talked about was a certain loadout. I believe it was a sorcery DPS loadout, and today I'm going to be talking about the Munitions DPS loadout. As you can see, I'm all dressed and ready to prepare, so check out my nice gear. Not much, I just put a hat on and changed my emblem. Anyway, we're in the tech wing right now. There's a little collection back here. You will notice there are collections throughout the watchtower. If you find one in the watchtower, try to collect it because they are part of a collection. If you collect all of the collection, you can get a reward or some kind of a thing for it for completing the collection. So always make sure you look for those various ones throughout the watchtower. That might be something I can actually talk about in a later video. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. So basically, this is about the munitions loadout. And if you don't already know what the munitions consist of, basically weapons, tactics. It's kind of, people think it's kind of a step up from gadgets, but it's actually fairly different. They have all their different things. Munitions is more of a hands-on, weapon attack based thing, or gadgets is kind of like, gadgets and different kinds of tools you can use to weaken your enemies and keep them at bay. While munitions is just power. I call it a power scourge, where you just kind of go through and take out people as fast as you can with your damage. And then on the other hand, of course, is troll, which we will talk about in the next video. So anyway, the first thing you'll need, you go into your stats, of course. Since this is Munitions DPS, you will need to concentrate on superpowers. You'll need to focus on health, might, and power, and of course, might. Or did I say might? Health and power is what I was trying to say. So like this with this particular stat points thing. Now, like I said, I do have this character is always water, so I don't have a character offhand where I can actually show you the emissions. So I'm just kind of giving you the loadout. This is what I've done for a few videos. If you're kind of confused by it, just let me know and I can explain if you subscribe. But like I said, these videos are only to be showing the loadouts for different powers. I do not actually have the powers themselves because I'm water, so I don't have any. I actually don't have any current loadouts or anything where I can actually go to a different power at the moment or show a different character. Otherwise, I would. Anyhow, so to start off with this, what you're going to need to do for your first loadout, as you can see, this is my water loadout. But for your first one here, for Munitions DPS, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have the chain grenade launcher. That's for number one. Basically a simple chain grenade launcher where you shoot it to your enemies and it blows up, kind of like a bomb. If they are near any other enemies, it hurts them as well, knocks them down. It's actually pretty effective because if there are various enemies or numerous amount of enemies around, and it hits one person, it can knock them all down and destroy them all, or damage them at least. So that's a pretty good one for the chain grenade launcher. The second one is a shrapnel grenade launcher. It's basically kind of like the chain grenade, except for it just kind of shoots them and blows up in the grenade in their face and kind of knocks them back, knocks them down. So it's similar to the actual chain grenade launcher. But the reason why I'm having people pick these for DPS is they are powers that do cause burn, and the burn is what makes them vulnerable to the weapon attacks. So if you push these powers, the chain grenade launcher and another one simultaneously or together, and then follow up with another attack, which I'm about to explain, then it will cause a lot more damage than if you use it by itself. And moving on to the next one, for number 3, with the particle gun or the rocket launcher. The reason why I say that is because there's two different powers. I switch out on this one, especially when I'm in groups or if I'm by myself. When I'm by myself, I usually use the particle gun. If I'm in groups, I usually use the rocket launcher. It just depends on the mood or what kind of group I'm in, how I feel it out. So that's a perfect example. So this is one of the first examples I want to talk about. Was if you do have the particle gun in your loadout or rocket launcher, whichever one, if you follow up with the chain grenade launcher, or I should say follow up with the particle gun after you shoot the chain grenade launcher or shrapnel, your attacks will be a lot more stronger and cause more damage. It's what they call a burn effect. Other powers have the same effect. Like ice has frostbite, which makes the enemies vulnerable to ice or cold magic, or I should say cold powers. So they all have, there's quite a bit of the same thing. Fire is the same thing. There's quite a bit of other ones that have the same way. They work the same way. Anyhow, so that's how you use it. And it's particle gun, which is number 3. Number 4 in your loadout is going to be the chain gun, which is one of my favorites. It's like a machine gun that you constantly use, and it shoots at your enemies, knocks them back, and damages them. That's a perfect one to follow up with after you do the burn attacks like chain and shrapnel. And it's only one of the ones. You also have, a minigun. I believe some other ones you can do. like the particle beam. There's also another one, little gun attack that he uses, and you can use that as well. But that's the 4th one, a chain gun. For the 5th party loadout, you want survival. Now this is basically one of your protective powers. I always, like I said in my last video, I always try to pick like a power that's actually defensive role that can either shield you or protect you from any kind of harm or damage for a short amount of time. That's exactly what survival is. Basically, like it looks like a little head in your loadout. You pick it. There's 2 of them. This one's called survival. There's another one. I think it's called beast. That's what I should say it does. But this is one that I prefer you use to protect yourself, and it helps hurt you from damage and other further harm that might be done on you. So it'll help you from getting hurt for a while. It also makes you a little stronger in some ways, and you also accumulate your health a little better. So that's number 5. Now number 6 is the active protective system, what you call in short the APS system, which is a shield supercharge, and it takes time. It does take time to fill up. Once it fills up, you put it around yourself and other people in your group. That's what the APS system does, and it's very effective. Like I said, it does help everybody in your group for the most part, especially when you're in raids. And this is the one power that you usually use as a troll for munitions, but I always put it in my loadout as a DPS because it still helps. Even if it doesn't give as much power, you can still use it to protect everybody, and it does give a little bit of power, so it does help, I think, in both ways. So that's one choice. The second choice for 6 is the MRE, or what I call the ration superpower, which is mostly I use when I'm by myself, which you just supercharge, which you do take, and it actually helps you heal a bit of your life, of your health, as well as I think a little bit of your power, most of your health. It's kind of a weird attack. It looks like you're eating. It has like a little sound effects there, and you eat, and you similar to some other action you probably see in the game that a villain has done, or basically an ad in the game. But that's basically what it is, a ration you take, and you can eat your health in a way so you can get your life back. That's the final and 6th one, as opposed to the active protective system. Now, those ones I do listed twice on certain loadout, I believe, is if you want to change them out. So number 3 in the loadout was particle gun, or you can also use a rocket launcher if you're in a group. And then for 6, use the APS system, which is a supercharged shielding based thing, which protects people from damage and also gives you power. And then, or you can use the MRE, which is a ration by yourself. I always recommend that anybody that has any kind of loadout, whether it's healing or no matter whatever the power is, that you have some kind of shielding power or whatever, regardless of what your role is. As long as you have a lot more as it's intended. So if your DPS rollout, you always want to have at least 1 healing power and 1 shielding power. The rest should be the DPS powers. And trust me, it does help. Anyway, that's the loadout. Like I said, as far as the mods again, you want to concentrate on health, power, and might. For blue, of course, it's health. For the red mod, it's might, and then for yellow it would be power. So in instance, like you see my loadout, this is my gear. I'm actually a much lower tier than most people right now with this character, but as you can see, for my blues, I actually pick dominance and health. You can mix it up a little bit as long as you have one of the ones I'm talking about, like mixed up with dominance and health. And then of course for my red one, I have precision and might. This is something that I chose to put in there because it helps people like precision and might, as opposed to just one or the other. You can also just choose might yourself. This is what I'm doing. And then for my power, I picked the power. See, and you might want to try a little of your own to see what works for you the best. But I'm going to tell you that power and health and might is always the easiest ones to pick, even as like this one, power by itself, because it doesn't take as long to basically what do you call it? It doesn't take as long to make the mod. So that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the Munitions Dps Loadout. I'll mention them all again, starting from 1. The first power loadout should be a chain grenade launcher. Number 2 is shrapnel grenade launcher. Number 3 is particle gun or rocket launcher. Number 4 is the chain gun. Number 5 is survival. And number 6, the active protective system, or the MRE, which is a ration-based supercharge. Those are all the 6 ones. Like I said, let me know if this works for you. It's a Munitions DPS loadout. The next video I will be doing one based on powers will be probably the Munitions Stroll. I kind of do the same thing with my sorcery power. Last video I think I had a few videos ago, I did sorcery, then I did DPS loadout. So I'm trying to fit in as many as I can to help people out. But like I said, the best thing to do is just try it for yourself. And if these loadouts don't work for you, maybe you can actually put one up for yourself and let me know that you see my video and this is what you recommend. Anyway, subscribe to my videos. That's it for today. I hope you like it, and I will see you guys next time. Bye now.